and welcome to episode 70 of Friends of the Show. I am Stephen W. Skinner, and this is my podcast where I chat with some of the people from the world. Hey, been a while. I'm back with a banger. This week's friend is legendary Twitter user who has crafted some of the funniest tweets of all time. If you've listened to this podcast, it's likely you've heard one of his tweets selected and read as someone's favorite. I am talking about Brent. It's at Merman5. And I was so lucky to get the chance to talk to Brent about Twitter and whatever else I rambled on about. This is a very fun one, and it made me nostalgic for the old Twitter days. And I hope you like it too. And so yeah, we're back. Now, crank it up and please enjoy Friends of the Show episode 70 with at Merman5. We back.
What's good, my man?
Good evening, Brent. How are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Very excited to do a podcast again.
Yeah, so you took some time off, I saw that.
Took a bunch of time off, had a baby, and then...
Oh, shit. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in month 11 of baby.
Yeah,
so
that's why you're not doing the podcast.
The timeline has lined up with elephant in the room, global pandemic, currently going on. It was like the first weekend of like lockdown stuff.
My buddy did the same thing. He had their baby the first week of lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
It was so it was like on Friday. It was a planned thing, and on Friday it was all good to go. We did the tour, ready to go. Saturday they had changed a few things, but I was still good to go, like to go and stay there. And then on the Sunday when we did it, or the Monday when we did it, they locked it all down, so I had to leave at 7 o'clock. Yeah, so baby comes, everything's good, we hang out for a few hours, and then it's like, oh yeah, visiting hours are over. When normally that's not a thing. So apparently they had changed it, like restrictions lifted midway kind of thing, and then tightened down again. So I don't know what it is currently, but hopefully the dads get to stay with their newborns.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. On the East Coast, I work in a hospital actually, and it's pretty loose now. Like, you get 2 visitors now, and you're good.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I can actually hear birds in the background.
You hear some birds? Yeah, I was wondering if you could hear that. I was like, oh, maybe the birds are too loud. Let me turn the birds down in the mix. Yeah, so welcome to the show, everyone. This is Brent at Merman5, legend of Twitter.
Oh, we started. Okay,
legend
cool.
Weird Twitter. Yeah, this is the new chill intro where we just get started, and then I hit you. Then I hit you with an intro like, oh yeah, it is biography. Is this? This is where you know him from. It's obviously Twitter. He's the guy with the surfing shark bear.
Yeah, that's close enough. Bear on shark.
Bear on shark. That's the official title of the art.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's literally what I Googled when I wanted a Twitter Abby. I'm like, I want a bear on a shark, and there, sure enough, boom, bear on a shark.
I mean, that's great, right? So, bear on shark. It's a pretty recognizable or picture there. So, and you haven't changed it. You just been stuck with that one. You're like, this.
No, like, I'm not the most technically, adapted person for this, but I wanted a bear on shark, and what are the odds that you get a bear on shark and you get that?
Internet so do your thing before Internet do your thing was a thing.
Yeah, 2013, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it tells you, unfortunately, when you sign up on your Twitter homepage.
Reminder that was
like, oh yeah, and the reminder. I think we all just passed our 10-year or nearing on that. For some of us older people who are on there for a long time. So yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, in Twitter years, that's like 25 years.
In Twitter, yeah, it's centuries in internet time. Especially in modern internet time, where it's like, for some reason, it just kept getting cranked exponentially, like, messed with time or whatever. Like, the things where it used to be, like, the news cycle was, like, a week, and then it was, like, 5 days, and then it was, like, 3 days, and then it's, like, a day, and that's, like, hours. You're like, wow, yeah, all that stuff was yesterday?
1920,
yeah.
All of a sudden just traveled forward and had a Twitter account, they would die immediately.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle it. Our brains have slowly adapted through email?
I don't know if mine
notifications.
Did yet,
well, if you wanted to or not, adapting it, maybe not how you wanted it.
Yeah, I have no choice in the matter.
No choice. So you're on Twitter, so you were able to lock down that at Merman5, luckily, right?
Yeah, and thank you for pronouncing it right. Everyone pronounces it Merman, and I'm like, I don't like it.
Oh.
Yeah, Merman5.
Merman5, yeah, because the extra R gives you that extra second now you have to say man.
Yeah, exactly. So you get it.
I get it. I understand how Twitter handles work. I've been looking at this one for a long time. But like, that's it. Like, your Twitter handle and your picture, a ton of stuff comes up when I Google it. But Google anything else, nothing else comes up. Just, did you mean Brent Moorman? Brent Burman? Brent Thurman? Brent Turman?
My nickname in high school was Merman. And apparently there was 4 other Mermans when I decided to make this account. So
wow, so you 5. Really were like, Merman. No. Merman 1. No. Merman 2.
My
you were going
to... When I played sports and schools,
there we go.
So
okay.
I was like, yeah.
Yes, it's always good
5.
to have a number that you can go to. The thing a lot of people did was when they first got their email was year of birth. A lot of that people was like revealing some data right there.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't do that now.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a weird thing to be like Star Sweet Angel 84 or whatever. Like, oh, I know what 84 is. But yeah, so you got that handle. You were able to upload the picture, no problem. Got on Twitter and you sent your first tweet. So what made you sign up? What made you want to do it?
I remember I used to work back shift when I worked at the hospital, or when I still do work at the hospital. We used to work back shift, and it used to be like super boring at night. And I was just like, I don't know what website I was on, but I think I saw a screenshot of Dave Diddle's Michelangelo tweet.
Yeah,
and
with they dicks out.
I was like, that's hilarious. And then I saw another one. And I was like, what is this? And then I think I was on Twitter already. I was just following, like, what people do. They follow celebrities in sports and their athletes and stuff. And then I discovered this, like, joke side of Twitter.
Yes.
And I remember I saw Dave Diddle's, like, that Michelangelo tweet. That's hilarious. And I'm like, oh, this is a whole thing. Like, people do this. They write jokes. So, I mean, I think I followed Dave, and then that led me to following Bucky Isotope.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay. And then what I said, I wrote a joke, and I sent it to, like, I just replied it to Bucky.
Yes.
Like, and then he retweeted it, and I was like, holy, what is this?
It worked.
This is cool. It works. And then, so yeah, Dave and Bucky are to blame for all this.
That's awesome. So you sent that tweet. Do you remember what tweet it was that you sent him?
Yeah, it was the very first tweet I wrote. It was, I forget how it's worded, but it's like based on like 2 friends spend the whole summer building this like canoe boat kind of thing, and they decide to name it at the very end. And on the count of 3, shouted a name, and they go 1, 2, 3, and one said friendship, and the other guy said Pussy Slayer, and he retweeted it, and then I was like, okay, well then I'm kind of hooked to this, and then
that's awesome.
Just started writing jokes.
And since then, you've written numerous of the all-time great jokes. I've been doing this. I was doing this podcast for a few years, and there was multiple times when your tweets were read, and they were picked as like their favorite tweet ever. And it came up quite often that Brent tweets were sort of some of like the best, just all-time ones. And a quick Google today had me LOLing, just looking at, I guess it just everyone memes them, like screenshots them. That's the best way to just Google at Merman5 images, and you can find out that on sizzle.com, the 25 plus memes about family took Brent's tweets. So they're all over the internet.
Yeah, that stuff is just totally beyond. It's mind-boggling how that exists, because usually it's like Twitter's its own little bubble, and you just kind of put it to Twitter, and then like when you actually Google shit, like I used to years ago, I Google stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just insane. Like you see your tweets on like T-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff like that. It's just insanity how far it reaches.
Yeah, it's truly wild, and yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, so it spreads through the other areas of the internet, the other tentacles. Reddit, which has been in the news lately.
A little bit.
We're dating ourselves, but we can touch on it. Reddit kind of messing in with Wall Street a little bit. The retail investors have bankrupted hedge funds. What do you think about it? Were you one of them? Did you get in on GameStop?
No, I didn't. That stuff just confuses me. I do Proline, and that stuff confuses me.
Okay, yeah, got Proline. We can get to that later. Super Bowl's coming up.
Yep.
So the Reddit people, they invested in GameStop when the hedge funds were shorting it. Everyone obviously knows what I'm talking about because most of the internet last week was just explainers explaining what happened.
Yeah, and it's just that's why I'm not active on Twitter as much anymore because it's
changed.
It's changed so much. I mean, when I was super into it, like 2013 to 2015, it was literally all you did was like write jokes. Like there was like Obama was president, so nobody was saying shit except for the tan suit day, and like, there was no politics. It was literally just people writing jokes.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was like the golden age heyday of Twitter. It was super funny. And there's and the best thing I like about it is it's not the people that are paid to be funny, like the directors, writers, actors, actresses. They're not usually that funny on Twitter. Like your funniest people on Twitter is a guy that works at the grocery store or a woman that works, at a bank or whatever. And that's what I like about it. It's just real people just writing funny stuff.
Yeah, I was talking to my last guest about how it's just it's given the everyday people who are regularly funny but wouldn't be doing comedy a chance to do comedy for people like a big audience, maybe just doing their stuff that's really funny, but normally only their coworkers would see. Like before, if it was in the 80s or whatever, it would be like their coworkers and maybe their friends would know this person's hilarious.
Like you're
but
the
now,
funny cousin.
Exactly, yeah, funny cousin or just that guy who's funny. But people say you should do stand up. And the guy's like, no, I would never do that.
Terrible.
That'd be
idea.
awful.
And that's
terrifying.
I hate people that get a little bit of popularity on Twitter. They decide to become stand-up and they just go up there and try to read tweets, and it's always just, ugh.
And I think that's okay if that's what you want to do first, and you got diverted to Twitter, sort of thing, and they're intertwined. Like you can hear your voice on Twitter, and it helps you to develop your joke writing and stuff. In that case, it's great because then funny people are funny,
I can't read it. If I read a joke I wrote, it's never funny because it's not funny. You have to read it, and it's funny then. But people Twitter's like a brain disease, and it gets into people's heads. They think, oh, all of a sudden I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yes, that is weird because you can't do the kind of jokes on Twitter that you can do doing stand-up and vice versa. Right? And there's different skills that go into each. The way to manipulate language is shared, but the way to present yourself on stage is different versus on Twitter. You don't have any of that. There's no inflection. There's no, timing.
Yeah, when you read something that's funny, it's usually funny to you because you put yourself in that situation, or it strikes a chord with you, or you've been in that situation before. So that's what makes tweets funny. Stand-up comedians are funny because they're just funny people. They're great storytellers. They can tell a story well, and that's the difference between writing jokes on Twitter and actually presenting jokes on the stage. Yeah,
it's different because there's no long form comedy on Twitter, really.
No, I can't be walking back and forth to the stage saying, "Look, asterisk."
Yeah, exactly.
Wakes wife up in the middle of the night, asterisk. Stuff like that. You can't do that. So
I've done. I did 50-something episodes, and I was reading tweets every single episode, Brent. And sometimes it works. Some jokes are a joke and it works. And then a lot of time, if it's a Twitter joke, it is describing a setup, describing a protagonist, describing an event and an action, and then the punchline at the end.
Everything I write is basically all set up, so none of my shit's funny saying it.
Yeah, a lot of it was, a lot of your stuff is classic writing where you could just... But that's sort of what I'm looking at. That I googled the Dave tweet. Yeah, of course I can paint your ceiling. Michelangelo scoffed to himself. Gonna paint a bunch of dudes with their dick outs on it, though.
Yeah, and then that joke, you could get away with that joke as telling as a stand-up. You just have to set it up. Hey, I bet you Michelangelo was, just yeah, sure, I could paint your ceiling.
Yeah, be this is my Michelangelo.
But one of my popular tweets, I could never just go up and the Patrick Swayze joke. I could never say that on stage.
It was so hard. No sense. Yeah, it's so hard reading it. It was Eddie's pick. Our friend Eddie from Congo. show. He was great on the podcast. Everyone go check him out. And his pick was the Swayze tweet, so I had to read it.
It's not good, right?
It was very difficult to portray and get it across.
It's a whole thing, and it's all chopped up.
It's chopped up. Good. There's multiple people that aren't addressed who they are. I'm assuming one of the people is Brent, or the Brent character.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I'm the guy in
and
most
you,
of my tweets.
Did you, you're conscious of that? You're like, I'm going to make my guy a goof, like, just like a weirdo.
Yeah,
I'm fine, self-deprecating.
Jokes are funny when they're genuine and you can relate to them, and I'm a goof, so I just easily, like, I'll think of something and I'm like, that's something I would do, and I would just write it out.
That's the best.
Where funny, yeah.
I think that's probably why it resonates with a lot of people, because it's just like the right amount of silly where you're like, oh, that's Brent. Especially after you learn the voice and you learn how silly Brent can be, or the Brent character, especially after one beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how? Do you know? Yeah, I want to hear you say the line, just the one line.
Y'all. Getting kind of hazy.
There we go.
He knows he's a guy to rap. That's crazy.
That was it. I didn't put the pause in between the y'all. I said it all as one line, but now that I hear it,
expecting him to start rapping about Patrick Swayze.
Exactly. I didn't realize it was 2 bars. It was one bar presented, 2 bars presented as one. Y'all. It's getting kind of hazy. Do you have with the next 2 lines?
No. People took care of that.
Oh, yeah. I'd imagine. Yeah. Friggin' people in the replies. You have almost 100,000 Twitter followers now, so you must have gotten your fair share and continue to this day to get your fair share of replies. How's that going for you? Are you fine with it now? Now you can stop that.
Yeah.
You've given us the power. I haven't tried it.
Is dead compared to what it is now, and I feel like a lot of Twitter now is that there's a lot of people buying engagement and
for sure, and engagement,
drop rooms and
actually engagement is down, right? Like people who are actually using it is less and less, like daily active users going through the floor.
There's only so many years you can read jokes about that we do, so I guess.
Well, if there's other new things to scroll through, i.e. TikTok, i.e. Instagram Reels. The pivot to video happened, and Twitter is sort of getting lost in the mix because, people can post TikToks to Twitter, and that's good. But
everybody wants to get they want something at Twitter now. And I hate to be that guy like, Twitter was so much better back than when I did it and all that, but it's true. It was. People literally were writing jokes. But no one got you didn't get a TV deal, or you didn't become a stand-up comedian.
When you had a funny joke, you didn't promote earbuds and then the sticky stuff that you clean your keyboard with, and I don't know what else you can promote. But when people get viral, or your SoundCloud, and the viral thing now, and if you wrote a joke and it got 100 likes in 2013, you were like, oh my god, I'm gonna they're gonna offer me to be the Tonight Show host. Living it up.
Incredible. Now it's you get 1 million likes. It's okay.
A million like tweet. Shout out Rudy Mustang, I guess, and others who get million like tweets. It's nuts with the algorithm, right? Is that what happened, Brent?
I don't know what happened.
It's the algorithm. Twitter started.
I don't know.
Twitter started.
That stuff never happened when I was around doing the joke thing.
Jack
I think ever since the DM rooms, we get group chats,
DM rooms,
people are dropping tweets, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people buying with alt accounts and buying things. I don't care.
I don't know.
Do whatever makes you feel good about yourself and write your joke. It's fine. I just back in my day, you got 100 likes and you were happy.
Yes, me too. 100 likes was later on for me. I was first. My first bar was 10 likes. I was 300 followers. If I get 10 likes on a tweet, that was good. That was a very strong showing for a tweet for those first year or 2 years or whatever. Where I just had 300 followers for from the start to 3 years in, and then it finally started to go up. But it took 3 years of doing super crap tweets. But then when I did that one with 10 likes, I'm like, okay, all right, that's a better one. Now you learn that's a bit better, and you get a bit better, and then eventually you'll do a good one that you can send to Bucky Isotope. He'll retweet. Literally, I did that exact same thing, Brent. That's insane.
I mean, I don't understand how people do it any other way.
Listen, if you're serious about writing jokes on Twitter and you don't finally write a good one and send it to Bucky Isotope, you're doing it wrong,
mad.
baby.
He'd be so mad. I mean, and I'm sure he was so annoyed. Eventually, he just followed me and like, hey, all right. And then he's a super nice man. I've known him for years now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
you've become sort of pals and friends with all of these high-flying Twitter superstars who are still killing it at a high level. Bucky is one example. Who are some of the others? We should mention your podcast friend, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, geez, there's so many funny people that I talk to.
I mean, you can never name them all, but if we had to just start naming them.
Yeah, there's Bucky, there was Nate, Keith, what's Joe talking about,
yes.
Corin the Goblin, Dave Diddle. You can just go on forever.
You can go on forever.
Lady Broseph, Jesus,
Lady Broseph, podcast, her, Nate, you, the Borderline Pod, everyone. I don't think it's available anymore, is it?
No, I got a bunch of messages about that.
Yeah, it's like
so I messaged Nate, and Nate's gonna put it back online.
Thank you, Nate.
Know what it is.
Everyone message Nate. Just make sure he follows up on that if you want to hear Borderline Pod. I did listen to a few episodes, and it was great. I was back in my Twitter heyday, where I was like, "All right, these are the best people on Twitter. What are they doing?" And the podcast was great. So that was when I was like,
about it. You had like we got like the biggest accounts at the time would just come on and we would just play a stupid game and talk, and it was just fun to get to know people that you read every day.
The best, yeah. So it's a way to humanize the cartoon face account.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, and then, but sometimes you really like this account, and you'd have them on. You're like, oh, this person's not good.
And that happens. Yeah, it happens for sure. And that's a good way to do it. You got to meet the people to know the people. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, one way or another, it's good or it's not good. But the top level, the cream of the crop, just hobnobbing it with the upper echelon, but there's no secret DM room between all of them, or there is, or it's like a text chain. It's offline.
I'm personally in. It's a group me text of all things, and like just the old guys that from like 2013 that started.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're just we don't talk about tweets.
The OG crew,
Twitter. Yeah, we just talk about like
just like is Brady going to win another Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah, so none of that. We didn't have group DMs on Twitter when I was writing jokes all the time. We just you could only DM one person at a time. And then I didn't really think group DMs kind of changed Twitter for the worst. I mean, it made picking on people a lot easier too.
Right. So there was cabals that were created. There's cliques that were easily weaponized. I've seen it happen where these people weaponized their clique in terms of rating or reporting someone offline and getting these people like accounts suspended and banned, blocked, or whatever they do with their infamous back channel connections to Twitter. Like, what? Don't do that.
It's all very silly in the grand scheme of things.
Like we're just trying to do.
Even what I did, like when I was everything I did is very silly overall. I mean, but people get a brain disease when it comes to Twitter, and it becomes their life.
Yes. No, I slipped down that slope. It must have been 2013, 2014 when I was in a heavy, starting to like accumulate followers, doing a lot of tweets. I had thousands. After I crossed 1,000 followers, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to make it to my goal of 10,000 followers. I'm doing it. And then it was like way too intense where I was like, all right, so I can I'll follow more people back. And then I'll, all right, if I tweet more, tweet at these times. And if I, it's like, oh no, chill out. Chill.
You got to tweet during this. You can't tweet at this time. It's like, it became too much.
Or be like, if I tweet and it doesn't get like 5 likes in 5 minutes, I got to delete it. And
that's the thing.
Shame.
I delete tweets.
Yeah.
And it's always tweets that I tweet and it's like no one touched it. Yeah. And then I realized like, okay, why am I going to keep this? I'm just going to delete it. And it's not because it's not doing numbers. It's shame.
It's shame. Like, it's that burning hot
to me, but it doesn't translate to you. And I get it. It's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, and I mean, see, that's the thing, because even like the funniest people, the funniest stand-ups, they have a ton of stuff that just doesn't work, and like you really don't always ever know like what's going to really resonate with a lot of people. And some of the stuff, like, your radar is good maybe 90% of the time, but there's that 10% where it's just like, whoa, that was just a huge swing and a miss. Just, it was funny to you. Like,
and it's shame.
And yeah, it's the instant, I feel it in my cheeks. My face goes flush. It was like, I've managed to get control of it a lot better, but like physical response to like no response on social media after like posting something. I'm just like, okay. And it just like slowly builds until it hits that like 10-minute mark or whatever. And there's nothing on it. And we're just like, okay, just delete it and I'll be okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And it took me a while to get to that point where I'm like, whoops, nothing wrong with that. Swing and a miss. On to the next one. Hopefully the next one is a
healthy way to
bunt up the line.
To do Twitter, because it becomes your personality, and that's when it becomes trouble.
Yeah, that's right. So I was crossing over to the dark side, and then I managed to toe the line and come back. It was dicey there for a while, Brent, but I made it out the other side.
That's all that matters.
I have a way better relationship with it now. Like, I think it was like I decided to schedule my time with it, like only do it on breaks, kind of like I can only check when I have my coffee in the morning, and then like I have a spot in the afternoon. Like I only have like these 10 or 15 minute windows, and I do not check outside those windows. That really helped. And then once I was better, that I could do it more.
There becomes a time, and this is for me anyway. I'm over it. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. You lose that. Everyone's on Twitter for the exact same reason. And if anybody that tells you different is lying to you or themselves. Everyone wants to be recognized as funny. If you're writing jokes on Twitter, you want your tweets to do well. You want recognition. You want attention.
Yes.
And when that becomes too much, that's when you have problems. You just become over it, and then I just go down Twitter in the mornings when I'm getting ready for work, and I scroll really quick, and it's like, oh yeah, same.
Do your little check.
Yesterday.
Yeah, you do your little check. That's how it has changed for me too. So just like less of a serious relationship with it, more of a gentle check in.
Oh yeah,
and more like check in with my pals more than anything. Like keep in touch with them.
Yeah, and you develop these relationships with people. I become great friends with people. I mean, I consider Nate one of my best friends in the world. I've never met the man. And
you never met Nate at the Nate Wolf?
Never met Nate. Wow. We talk all the time.
Yeah.
We play all the time together, but we never met.
That's crazy that that this new thing, the internet, well, not new, but in our lives, has happened and changed how people can connect. Where you have like this relationship, but you've never met.
Yeah, Nate's like a household name in my house. Like,
my
wife says Nate. My kids know Nate, and
that's awesome.
Nate. But I've never met him.
They all have little like wolf costumes they wear.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we should mention the Nate Wolf, one of the best, another legendary top Twitter guy.
Funniest person I know in the world.
Funniest person, he's one of the best. I have a funny story. I DM'd him about I was like, I saw this sticker. It was like, do Nate blood. What is Nate blood? He's like, oh man, I have no idea. ... Oh, what the hell? He's like, it was donate blood. So it just took him a second because you didn't see it. But then, so it was great because he replied sincerely right away, and then saw it after. So he like replied angrily after. That was one of my favorite like times where I just thought of something really stupid, DM'd someone who I had never DM'd before, and that's what happened. It was great.
That's the best way to meet people.
Yeah. And I think I asked him what kind of mic he used, and I'm using that very mic right now. There you go. When I was doing my podcast prep, I'm like, I'll ask a professional podcaster, Nate.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you were around for any recordings, you could tell we weren't professional.
Well, it was fun to listen to, so hopefully you get those back up online, ASAP. Counting on you, Nate.
Yeah. People, I mean, it's a good little trip down memory lane with some of the funnier accounts.
The funnier accounts of joke Twitter or weird Twitter, as it may have been classified at certain times.
Twitter, yeah.
different factions that people want to classify. You look at different.
And that's funny too, like how there's different like waves and generations. The whole thing is just silly, but it's funny.
It's all silly, but it's all different. It's spread apart, but it's hyper niche. The algorithm puts certain things up to everybody. And nobody really knows how it works.
I tried to think about it one day, and my brain hurt, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Not worth it.
I don't care.
Tell us about yourself. You from West Philadelphia, born and raised?
I am on the east coast of Canada, like in the middle of in the Atlantic Ocean on a little island, super remote. Not super remote, I should say that. We have TVs and shit like that, and internet. But I mean, yeah. So I'm on the east coast of Canada.
Yay!
In Nova Scotia. You're from just a couple provinces over.
Yeah, I'm just over a little bit further west, but not too far west.
Yeah, it's weird because we don't have anything we don't have any professional sports teams or anything like that. So we are kind of like just a little bit.
So what do you do for that? Did you pick who did you pick? Who's your professional sports teams that you?
And that's the thing. And that's the thing because when you're not from an area with a professional sports team, you're more. I don't know if I wouldn't say you were more of a diehard fan, but something happened where you started supporting this team, so you can never go back on it because that's the reason you start liking them. So it's not like you were born into them.
That's the thing. You made the choice. It wasn't your. It wasn't your location.
Hockey, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan.
Okay.
And I remember I was watching them one day, and they beat Pittsburgh, I think, like 11-3 when I was a kid. I'm like, well, obviously this is the best team, so I'm going to just support. And my father is a Chicago fan, and he's like super disappointed in me.
Wow.
Football, I was I'm a Miami Dolphins fan because in our area, our local CBS channel is the New England channel. So the New England CBS, so they always showed Patriots game, but the Patriots sucked.
Yeah.
So the Patriots played the Dolphins twice a year in Dan Marino, so I picked the Dolphins to be my favorite team.
Yeah.
Basketball, growing up, I was a New York Knicks fan, and then the Raptors came, and I became a Raptors fan.
By default, all the Canadian people became Raptors fans.
Yeah, I think that's normal. And
then, I mean, I hope they did.
What sport am I missing? I think that's it.
Yeah, you got them. Olympians. No, that's great. Those are a good choice. I'm a Giants guy, but I can see the appeal of Dolphins, especially when you grow up with Marino, like heyday.
Yeah, and I hate Dan Marino now. I think he's a goofball. I don't like him, but whatever.
Yeah, burn your isotoners.
Yeah, see, that's an old school reference that no one's going to get except for maybe.
I like it. Everybody, if you're old and you got that reference,
the isotoners.
Hit us up on Twitter. So, out there on the East Coast, so you're out there the whole time? Never were...
Yeah, I've born and raised here. I mean, I think I moved... when I met my wife, we moved in together, and we moved about maybe 20 minutes from our hometown.
Nice.
And that's as far as we go. And I love it here. I mean, it's beautiful. Like, our island is like ranked as one of the most, best vacation spots in the world, best island in the world, and all that. It's beautiful here, and I'll never leave. I can't see me leaving, but there's not much to do here. Yeah,
it's a different speed out there.
Yeah, I spent some time. I spent like almost 2 weeks in Toronto couple years ago, and I was like, the
hustle and the bustle.
No, too much for me.
Oh, too much hustle and bustle.
It is too much hustle. Yeah, I didn't like it.
There's always the hustle, and then you add the bustle, and you're like,
I can't do the bustle.
Is that worth it? It's like the hustle was enough, all right?
Yeah.
Bustle just seems like a little bit of overkill there, T-Dot. Hey there, GTA, the mega city, that's a bit much, guys. Come on.
I would like it for like concerts and sports and stuff, but now that I'm old, I'm like, I want to go out.
Oh yeah, I guess soccer. Who's your MLS team? Is it the
no?
Is it the Montreal Impact? Or no, they changed. They changed their name.
Montreal changed their name.
Yeah,
I know the Whitecaps. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, my Whitecaps, TFC, and Montreal, which used to be the Montreal Impact, but now they're one of those like Club de Montreal football like letter clubs or whatever. Like,
yeah, so I don't like that. You're basically just copying off the Premier League.
Yeah, but also Impact. I mean, like, wouldn't you rather have like a cool, classy, like historical football style?
But they're not a historical. That's the thing, though. They're not a historical thing. So they're posing.
That's true. Yeah, they should have invented their own thing. something new that's like not a name.
Impact is not a good name.
Impact, not a good name. That's the problem. So like not something that's not Impact, but something that's not. They should have been something super français.
I'll tell you what I'm super into right now, and no one else is Formula One racing. I love Formula One.
F1 racing.
I am so addicted to it. It's ridiculous.
And
It's
the
all
big
because of the
tires.
Netflix series. It's
And
bad.
the pit crews with the...
It's really bad, and I have no one to talk to about it because all my friends laugh at me. And I can't watch this.
I would love to do that.
The pit crew.
Yeah, pit crew. So much pressure for 4 seconds or whatever.
I'll watch from a distance.
Just intense pressure, but for 4 seconds, and then you can chill.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's basically like,
it's like 4 seconds of work, or like you set yourself up, get your little station ready, get your tire ready where you could grab it smooth, and then go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Let's go have a drink.
I wish it was that easy. Yeah.
So F1 racing, who's on the scene now? Is there? It's like teams, but it's also drivers, right? So it's like a team will have multiple
10 teams,
drivers.
2 drivers, and it's like a big soap opera. And if you watch Drive to Survive on Netflix, you'll become addicted to.
There we
F1
go.
racing.
That's how you got hooked.
That's how I got hooked bad. Yeah.
So you learned all about the ins and outs of it, and that will hook you once you get.
And now I'm just not casually, I'm pretty
some
much
serious,
people around me.
Well, you need to talk to someone's grandfather on like a Sunday afternoon. That's
Well, the thing is, on Twitter, I started an F1 room. I have like a group DM with F1 people,
That's
and
great.
they're all from like the UK. And
Yeah. European, it's more of a European. The European sports scene is crazily different from the North American one. Like when you're like, oh, it's like they have all these like other sports that are super popular that aren't popular at all here. They're like front page news. They have their own channels. They have their own like teams and supporters, and it's a huge thing that goes on. And just in North America, we're just like, whatever. It's just like, yep,
exactly.
Great. Cricket, what is that? You knock the little sticks. Great.
Can't understand it.
Now give me some baseball. That's what I'm talking about.
It takes 36 hours to play a game or something like that. It's too much of a commitment.
Yeah, it's 3 days. At least the baseball game's over in a few hours.
Well, baseball's too long too.
Well, they've changed it, Brent. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
What do you think? You think they should do it?
It's
Yeah.
It's
I don't think there's any way to make it shorter. I like how they went to 7 innings in some games.
Yeah, but then like I'm not a purist, but then I'm like kind of like, it's got to be 9
Doesn't
innings.
count.
And that's the whole thing with the COVID situation in sports. I always say none of this shit counts.
All asterisks.
None of it counts.
Raptors are still the champions. All asterisks. Raptors are still the champions.
The Raptors suck now, but they're playing the goddamn games in Florida.
It's not fair. They're not playing home games.
Their only advantage was
that was their only
goddamn
advantage.
country behind them.
The 12th man that was the Toronto Raptors fan base showing up at the games.
And that was their big advantage. You had to go into a different country to play them, and everyone loved that team from that whole goddamn country.
Yeah, and sometimes your guy couldn't cross the border to play, so sorry.
Should follow the rules.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice to be a fan. So who's your top F1 guy?
Sebastian Vettel. I can't believe I managed to start talking about F1. This is what I do with the sickness.
I just wanted to wrap it up, make sure we got all the F1 stuff covered for your F1 DM. You're like, oh, we talked about F1 on this podcast whenever it comes out. You're like, oh, yeah.
Sebastian Vettel, and he's my favorite, and I'm a sick person that pushes F1 on people.
Is he, sounds like he's sweet, or
he's German.
German, Swiss.
Yeah.
I was guessing Swiss is what it was.
No, he's German, and he's super dry and sarcastic. And
he's the second suggested Sebastian when I Google it.
Who's number 1?
Sebastian Stan.
Who the hell is Sebastian Stan?
I'll tell you once I look at Vettel. Okay. I think Sebastian Stan is a actor. I think he might be from Glee.
I don't like that.
He's an actor. Oh, he's from he's a guy who's the Winter Soldier in the Marvel universe.
Don't know.
Well, yeah, that's who he is. So
Should be number 2.
Top Sebastian, definitely.
I thought you were going to say like Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach, he was number 3. Yeah, very close.
Skid Row.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah.
He's the reason, and to bring it back full circle, Sebastian Bach is the reason that I wrote the Patrick Swayze joke.
What?
Yep. He was on Trailer Park Boys, and they had a whole thing about Patrick Swayze and the Swayze Express. That's why I wrote
That's awesome. That's a weird, fun coincidence. Full circle. The third suggested thing for Sebastian Bach under images is Trailer Park Boys.
There you go.
There's a lot of split shots with him and Trump. I wonder if he's a Trumper or something. Or no, he came out against it, I guess. Good job, Sebastian Bach.
Good to see. All around, the Sebastians are good people. Vettel, Bach.
And it doesn't matter what your SEO is, if you're the first suggestion or not, or if,
But if you have a name like Sebastian, you want to be the number one.
Yeah, if you have a specific name, you're going to want to, increase that SEO.
Where's the crab at? How far down is he on the list?
I don't think he even rated.
How? I can name like 4 Sebastians that I know, and he's one of them.
Let's see it again. Now that I think I've screwed it up now that I've Googled too many Sebastians.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting ones for like French rugby players, French rally drivers, French musicians. No, this is not working. I've compromised my Google search. Gotta go back to my Brent Merman 5 search. Because there were some of these tweets. What did you think of the we will miss you?
I don't know why I wrote that. I don't know why I wrote that. I think it came on, I think We Will Rock You came on, like, does your radio station play, like, they can't play Queen without playing We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions together?
Yeah, they got to play it together.
Why?
They can't play.
I hate that. That's what happened. I was watching my son's Little League game in my car, and it came on. And Queen is my favorite band, and I started listening to the song. I'm thinking about like his funeral and stuff when he died, and it was probably sad. And then that song was playing. I was like, we will miss
So the
you.
part that's missing is that it's Freddie Mercury's funeral.
Yeah. There's always stupid stories behind it.
Yeah, that's just what I was wondering about that, because that one, I hadn't seen that one before when I was looking, Brent, and then I had seen it for the first time when I looked for it, and it was very funny, and I had to retweet. I went and retweeted a bunch of classic ones that I saw.
Because of the stupid, why they play the We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions together.
Stupid radio DJs who just can't separate that. It comes together on the CD, and they just haven't ever figured out the technology.
But the technology is there to separate it, which is
definitely
frustrating.
is. Definitely is there. Been there. And especially the radio people had access to that before us even.
For sure. Like, even like you had to play it on vinyl, you had to like move the needle or something.
Yeah. Sorry, I just read another one. And yeah, they all have the great setup, and some of it's between you and your wife, which is its own dynamic. But I guess a lot of it is on a date too, where it's like adjusting paintball mask. It's too bad we aren't on the same team. The date says,
that's true as well, yeah.
Classic.
I tried to talk my wife into going paintballing.
And you don't go on the same team. That's awesome.
Paintballing seems cool and fun as hell until you actually do it.
Oh, terrifying. I've never been paintballing, but I was airsofting, which is much worse.
Yeah, they don't break.
It's like BBs, yeah. Shooting little plastic pellets.
The thing about doing like paintballs, like I never did it like at a licensed place. Me and my friends all bought paintball guns, and we played in like October, and it was super cold.
Gorilla.
All the paintballs, like they just froze. So I got hit in the head, and it didn't. I was like, this is enough of this.
Oof. Yeah, that's like, getting hit with ice balls.
We got shot so much, but we were clean as hell. None of the paintballs exploded. They just bounced off us.
Oof. Paintball, yeah. Count me out.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
We're too old for that crap. So was on a DM the other day, and friend of the show, Travis, drops in super excitedly, DMing that he got that sweet Brent follow, and it was just so fun to see, when you get excited about that big follow, because I remember the same moment, got that sweet Merman 5 follow, and I believe I exclaimed, said something, I was like, oh, what? Like I made a vocalization, which doesn't normally happen, but there was a few big follows where it's like, oh, like this person, like I was following you since like I found out, like, basically, right, since you sent your first tweet or to Bucky Isotope, like, I've been knowing about this classic Twitter account, so it was very exciting for me too, and it was fun to get to share that excitement with Travis. So I told him that I was going to mention that on the podcast, and that was me mentioning it on the podcast.
Well, Travis, I'm sorry it took me so long to follow you. That's all very flattering. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, you're only following, like, you're not following too many people, 600 or so.
Yeah, and that was a thing. That was like a thing back in the day. Like, you didn't follow a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Still a thing. Jon Stewart just joined. He's not following anybody. What a jerk.
Jon Stewart didn't follow me? That bastard.
Yeah, what a jerk. So yeah, Jon Stewart's already, like, on Twitter 1 week, already messed up.
He's probably paying for engagement, and he's probably in, like, DM rooms, and he's in the algorithm.
Yes, he's definitely working the system, working the game. I bet someone is gonna start reporting him.
Yeah, tweeting at peak hours, and
he's got it all.
His own tweet.
Is that what you have to? Yeah, you have to tweet at peak hours, reply to your own tweet, reply to everyone who replies to your tweet.
Start a fight with your alternate account in the replies.
Copy, share link. Copy, share link. Oh wait, that's a TikTok thing. So TikTok, have you pivoted to video yet? When are you pivoting to video?
I'm not. I did Twitch. I did Twitch for
You did year. Twitch? So were you gaming? You were streaming?
Here's the thing. I took a break from Twitter for a year. And the only reason I came back to Twitter is because I had shoulder surgery, so I was off work for like 8 months, and I was bored. So I started watching Twitch streamers, and then I was like, I could do this. And then I realized very quickly that I would hate to be a Twitch streamer full time.
Such a grind, right? It's a grind.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't like video games that much, but I couldn't imagine.
I like video games, and I just recently started to do a few Twitch streams where I was just like, didn't tell anybody about it. Just like, I'm just going to see what it is, like set it up kind of thing and do it or whatever. Be like, so I would just have to be not only like playing the video game, but like talking the whole time like it's a podcast. And then also like engaging with people in the chat, like looking over and keeping people going in the chat. Thanks for the subscribe, Jim4069. Love it. Thanks for the emote, Jan. Love to see you back here again, Jan.
Like, and I liked it for that, because like I didn't have a lot of viewers, but I had like a small little group of people that always like consistently came, and then they started like giving me money, and I'm like, now I gotta keep it up, and I'm like, this is not, no, I don't like this. Once
you got subscribers who are invested, you feel
like you have to do it, and then you have to like be entertaining, and I'm like, I suck at video games, so they're not there for my skill. It's just
for your sparkling personality. Maybe you'll drop a secret tweet that doesn't get tweeted, but you just say it.
Yeah, and then they'll laugh.
Then someone will post it on their own account.
Yeah, exactly. So I did Twitch. It was fun. It was good. I never did Vine. I'll never do TikTok. I'll never do video stuff.
Yeah, not gonna pivot.
No, it's just yeah. Tweeting's easy. You just type it in and press this button.
Yeah,
and I got to set it up.
And Brent, if that scratches your creative itch and that's all it takes, then there you go. Plus, learning a new thing. Ooh. Especially if it's
38 years old.
Something like that where
things are over.
TikTok's like, not only do you have to learn a new thing, you have to learn a new thing every single day because it changes.
Yeah, and I don't get it. Like, my wife loves it, and that's all I hear in the background of my house all day.
Yeah.
It's like,
bust it.
No.
Bust it.
Bust it. Yeah.
Bust.
And then I couldn't be that guy that watches the busted videos all the time, because then my wife's like, what are you doing? Like,
you're like one of those guys, record your girlfriend and play the sound.
Yeah,
Bust
I'll never be a TikTok person.
Bust it. It's interesting, though.
Oh, it's great. I think it's great.
I think it's crazy, the hyper algorithmic nature of it, where it's like, oh, you watched this video, like you let it play twice or 3 times, and now you'll only see a third of your videos will be this. Like, okay.
Yeah, and that's no good.
It's so hard to find your own, to fix your algorithm.
You watch one cooking video, and the next thing you know, I'm getting like 18 different ways to make eggs. And it's like, okay, enough.
Yeah. It's nuts, and they're listening to us, Brent.
I said that to my wife earlier. Like, I downloaded a spyware or a malware program for my laptop because it was just like kind of buggy, and then I had an advertisement on Facebook for that malware program. Like, that's silly.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. They can listen. I don't care.
That's what I say. I was like, it's fine. They can listen. The advantage I get from everyone listening is better. If I need to have toilet paper promoted to me in my feed, then I will click that ad for toilet paper.
I think I'm pivoting, and now I find it useful. You're right. Yes, that's what I'm going to do anytime I'm.
Thank you, big brother. Thank you for listening.
Hey, oh God, I'm running out of flour. I have no flour.
Exactly. Yeah. Just talk. Yeah. Just tell them the data that they want, and they will give you what they want you to see.
It's like a built-in shopping list. That's how I'm going to shop from now on. The next time I go to the grocery store, I'm just going to go through my Facebook, and whatever is advertised for me, that's what I need. I'm going to buy.
Oh, wow. Then the ads you will get, I couldn't even imagine. They would start salivating. They'd be like, look at this click-through rate. Have you ever looked at any statistics or metrics? Your numbers must be pretty large with a large following.
No, I don't.
Oh, good. Yeah, don't do it. But
no,
I've done it, and it is interesting if you're interested in that kind of stuff, because you're like, oh, okay, it's about this percentage of engagement is like a good tweet. It'll be this or more, and if it's like a picture tweet, it'll automatically be 10 times more engagement, but less likes unless it's a certain quality of joke.
I think if that was around when I was like in 2013 to 15 when I was like super into writing jokes, I'd be looking at it, but now it's like, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah, who cares? And I'm also over the who cares. I'm at the who cares level. But
perfect. That's the healthiest spot to be on.
It's the best. Yeah, the first time I went in was this year just to check to see, to like I do like a top 10 list at the end of the year just for my own personal records, and I can check it. Although recently I did the top tweets bot thing where you send it to the top tweets bot, you log into their website, upload your tweet.js file that you can download, and they will send you a list of all your top tweets. So it's like in order of retweeted. So that's nice to have. You can check.
I will not be doing that, Steven. I appreciate it, though.
And for the listeners who are listening, if you want to get your top tweets, because Favestar doesn't exist anymore, but that kind of stuff was popular during the heyday.
Favestar, that was a ghost in the past I haven't heard in a while, yeah.
Favestar, people in the old DM room still rattle on about Favestar. It's for sale. Brent, you could buy it. You could buy it.
Someone bought me like a 6-month subscription to it.
They gifted you it.
It was handy for like retweeting people, but
yeah, it's really handy for retweeting people. You could go to the Favestar page for that person, and it would immediately show you their top tweets. It would do the list for you of everybody.
Cool. Yeah, I remember that was cool.
For free, you could see like 3 or 4 of the best tweets, right? Or whatever. Then it's like behind the paywall, you could check out the rest. Yeah. It's like, that's smart. I got
the subscription, I could see like pages.
Yeah,
and I tell you that it said like if you go to like page 6. And you're still laughing, that's a really good account.
Exactly.
That's how we used to judge, yeah.
It was definitely worth it. I did the same thing. I didn't get gifted it, but I was like, I'll play the game. I'll do 6 months of giving a trophy away for a tweet every single day.
The trophy! I forgot about the trophies. Yes.
Buddy, that's what I was paying for. I think I calculated, I was like, it's going to be about this much for every trophy. So that's what. So I have to award these trophies because it's worth whatever, like 95 cents or whatever it was. It was 95 cents.
Yeah, I never gave. I gave trophies. I always forget. I forget
exactly. If you didn't give it, it was gone. Like you only get one per day. But I figured that's what you were paying for because you give the trophy. The person's like, wow, thanks for the trophy. Sometimes they would go and blow up your Favestar, as it were. And buddy, that's what I was in it for. Also the community building, but a lot of it was who blows up the most Favestars.
Write a book on all the unwritten rules of these perceived rules of Twitter.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I remember you get a trophy, and it was like the polite thing to do was go retweet them. Yeah,
that's right. So I'm like, who follows the etiquette? Who is a good person? They'll follow back, and they'll retweet at least one of my decent top Favestar tweets. And you know what? Transaction complete, folks.
That's funny. Yeah, that's how it worked too.
But luckily that doesn't exist anymore. So
no, I want it back now.
There's no need.
I think it would be hilarious to get a trophy now.
Brent,
I want the trophies.
You know what, Brent? There actually has been accounts that have popped up as these DM collectives have solidified their power, and they have these shared accounts. There is like tweet of the day contest kind of thing, and they'll give you like a fake like a fake trophy or like a reply saying you won a trophy, and they'll put like a trophy emoji in a tweet and list
Hell yeah,
your
I
name,
want that.
right?
Someone give me a trophy.
Someone submit Brent's tweets to the podcast to the to the tweet of the day.
I want trophies again.
To the tweet of the month, Saturday tweet contest.
The Obscure Gentlemen, the battles, they're fun. I like doing them.
Yes, the for a penny, Obscure for a penny.
I always pronounce it wrong. Yeah, but that's what it is. James does great stuff, and very sad to hear about his brother who passed away.
Terrible hearing about his brother Aaron passed away. Everyone should still go check out the Obscure Gentleman.
For sure.
All of the great stuff.
Darren drew my Twitter Avi for one of the battles, and it's so good.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good, and like T-shirts, the hoodies were all. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, they really had their whole empire, like their merch empire and everything, all set up. It was really great. Man, that's cool. I don't have anything cool. I don't have any. No one's done my thing. I thought about going to Fiverr for the podcast and being like, get someone to draw my little picture or whatever. But I never did. But it would be great to have some sort of souvenir.
That's like one of the reasons I kind of stuck around to it. Is like you got those cool things that like normally wouldn't happen. I remember when we were doing the podcast, we had our pictures put on a bottle of Jones soda and stuff like that.
What? Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and like when people send you pictures of like, I remember there was one person that put their one of my tweets on ugly Christmas sweater. Part of the rat, and one of my tweets. I was like, that's cool. I like stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what keeps me engaged in Twitter.
That is the kind of stuff. So, from your tenure on Twitter, what are some of those things that stick out? So, Christmas sweater, obviously, right up there. Has Twitter itself ever asked you about tweets? Like, I know some of my friends on Twitter have gotten things from Twitter PR, like, we're going to use your tweet in like ads in like the London subway.
I don't think anything like that. It just what really is how it like celebrities and stuff like that. Like I remember my coworker was her and her family were going to L.A. and I just DM'd Andy Richter. I'm like, hey, can we get like Tonight Show tickets? And he's like, yeah, I'll set it up with my assistant.
That's amazing.
I go to work. I'm like, yeah, You're gonna get an email from Andy Richter's assistant that they got 4 tickets to the Tonight Show for it, and they're like, "What? It's crazy." And stuff like that is cool. Like,
flex your Twitter power.
What's that?
Yeah, like using your Twitter connection.
That's what I like. I remember we went to see Lego Batman with my son a couple of years ago, and I messaged Will Arnett. And he got on the phone. He was talking like Lego Batman to my son. He just thought that was amazing.
That is amazing. That is truly like next level
like
dad power.
Is what's really cool. It's like just brings like for another example is my uncle. I should say my cousin's husband. He was just turned 60 a couple weeks ago, and he's a huge hockey fan. So I messaged James Duthie. And he did a video for him and stuff like that.
It's like a free Cameo service.
Yeah, basically what it is. That stuff is super cool to me.
Yeah, you've set up your own free behind the scenes via Twitter Cameo service for your friends and family, and that is the best. Like, that stuff is exactly what keeps you going. A little hit of a celebrity interaction, engagement, friendship will definitely keep me going back to Twitter. Like, one of my first 300 followers was Tom Cruise. That kind of got me hooked.
Oh yeah, it was, and stuff like that. When stuff like that happens, you're like, okay, this is cool.
It's cool. When it's
and you can't
like,
explain it to anybody else. Like people
I learned. Yeah, I learned early on that bragging about Twitter stuff to non-Twitter people is an exercise in futility and embarrassing.
They don't get it. And then when they do find out about your account, they're like, okay, well, what's something funny? I'm like,
only
a tweet, and it's just embarrassing, and let's not do it.
More like only those things where they see, they're like, oh yeah, Andy Richter retweeted you. Like, I think that's cool. Or I saw that, like this meme account that I follow posted one of your jokes. Now I think that's cool. Now I think you're good. Like,
yeah,
okay.
I get that. You get
now
that
I get it.
From coworkers, they like send you they text you a screenshot of your tweet on the website.
I saw it on Facebook. It came up on my Facebook. We're like, oh, that was from like 2015.
Yeah, no worries. That's old news. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That one's already paid for itself.
Yeah.
On the meme circuit.
How do you think I got that Mazda in the driveway?
Ooh, doggy. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom. Did you just say zip of juice?
Oh, zip of juice is the thing. That's what I said one day.
You said zip of juice?
I think zip is better than sip. You take a little zip of it.
It definitely gives you a little zip, right?
Yeah, depending on the juice. Unfortunately, all the my tweets are basically things I've said or thought of doing.
The Brent character.
I wish he was a character, to be honest with you, because then I could separate myself from him. But that's me.
Well, it's so funny, Ed. A lot of this stuff, it was great looking at all your old tweets. Just keep it up. I'm glad that you came back to Twitter. I'm glad that you burned out of Twitch and came back to us at Twitter.
Yeah, a lot of people are, I'm sure, the Twitch community.
And so we should shout out your Twitch. Everyone give him a follow there on Twitch. And so we're starting to wind her down. We've crossed that magic hour mark, Brent, and we're starting to wind her down. And we got some questions. I don't get questions for the pod anymore. This is a new pod, Brent. This is a new version. But I did want to get one question because you asked one question to this person, because I do the call for questions for this guest for my podcast, Friends of the Show podcast. And I got a DM from Brent with a question. It was very exciting to me. That was first Brent reaching out to me via DM so to ask a question to this next question asker, which is, of course, Joe at What Joe Dog About. We should give her a quick shout out. One of the best. Like, ever since I've had her on,
literally one of the funniest people on there. She's
so funny, consistently funny for so long. Really, and also just like one of the nicest people. Every time I've communicated with her off through the back channels of the DMs, it's just like walk away feeling great. Just like motivated, inspired. It's like for some reason she's just like some sort of positivity.
She got me into the battles and stuff.
Oh, okay, you're right. It was Joe.
What's Joe?
What's Joe? Is that what you call her?
That's her new handle.
Oh, what's Joe?
Steven.
Sorry.
Joe?
What's Joe? That's right. At What's Joe, I'm looking at the question right now. The question from Joe. In Brent's shipwreck diary tweet, on day 1, he's fine and meets a crab. Day 2, he marries the crab. And day 3, he eats his wife. On what day was the Grink there?
That's the thing with the Grink. The Grink is always there.
The Grink. We had a great time talking about the Grink on her episode also. And if you don't know, everyone got to go. Just Google, just at Merman5 and Grink.
It all ties together. The shipwreck tweet, and I'm on the island, and that's a continuation, a prequel of the Grink.
Truly, next tweet. Level stuff from Joe. That's one of the great questions.
That's why she's the best. She's
the best. Truly amazing question. How would you ever tie those together? Only
I never would.
Joe.
She would, though.
And formulates such an amazing question. I had to ask it on.
Jealous of her brain.
The pod. Truly a magnificent specimen of Twitter. Got to check her out at What's Joe, and check out her old episode if you want. It's a different handle, but it's the same.
Yeah, man, get your plug in.
Fun lady. Yeah, check out the old episode, and you got to be following her for great questions in the DM just like that. And I think I had one. There was another fun bonus question from Todd at the Todd Williams, the other friend of the show, and Todd asks. Ask about his tattoo of an elephant that wears pink sneakers.
Oh, Todd. I still have that. Actually, I don't. He's going to have to send it to me because I had to wipe my phone because it got hacked the other day. But yeah, I got a tattoo of an elephant on my arm. And he was in a room, and I showed the picture, and he put little pink sneakers on. And unfortunately, it flowed too well. It was perfect.
Oh, wow. Great. That's a classic Todd Photoshop where he's in a DM, he's just sneaking around, and then when it's the right moment, he'll Photoshop something hilarious.
I got him back, though. I remember I got him with a turkey joke, and I told him to look in the mirror or something. I remember something like that, so nice. I got him back for it.
You got him. Sorry, Todd. He wins. Brent comes out on top. All right, well, I guess that's all the questions. So, who do you like in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, I'm not going to sit here and say anything other than Tom Brady's going to win.
We're talking about the GOAT, TB12.
Kansas City's so good, but
Kansas City's so good, but Bucks complete. Bucks look pretty complete right now.
Yeah, well, I still think Kansas City is just like
a powerhouse.
Overall better team.
Andy Reid.
And better coaching, better running. Travis Kelce, crazy.
All-time record breaker this year.
But Tom Brady, man, he's there for a reason.
Tom Brady wants it. He definitely wants it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He wants it.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm picking the Bucs in a close game, but I won't be surprised if Kansas City blows them out.
There you go. You heard it here first from Brent at
all your money.
Brent 5. Yep, definitely get it and get that juice running.
Yeah.
Bet more than you can afford.
Yeah.
Get a zip of juice
down on the Buccaneers.
Get a zip of juice down on the Bucks. I guess that we don't really have time for the bird off.
I'll have to come back on for the bird off.
We'll have to come back on for the bird off where we just play different bird sounds and we have to guess what kind of bird it is. That was going to be the big bit.
And I was just going to say warbler.
Warbler. I had a list.
I was going to say a color, an adjective, and the word warbler for every bird. I think damn, he knows his birds.
Damn, he's got all the warblers. Yeah, there's sylvan warblers.
Warbler. You'd be like, damn, he knows it.
That's good. Yeah, I thought it'd be a lark, but
oh shit. There you go.
Brent, what a way to wrap it up. I wanted to thank you so much for coming on to the brand new pod.
Thanks for having me on.
This is...
I was the first person on the new one.
Yeah, you're definitely one of the first people on the new one. Definitely one of the first.
Let me have it, Steven.
No, I don't know. Hey, nothing's come out yet, Brent. We can
Did you put the bird sounds on the other episode?
Yeah. Yeah, we got the bird sounds going. And then now the podcast ends when I play the theme and we say our goodbyes. So again, thank you, Brent. Everyone go check him out at Merman5 with 2 R's. M-U-R-R-M-A-N. 5.
Not Merman.
And it's Merman. Get that right. Well, thanks, Brent, and I'll see you on Twitter.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Brent. So great having him on, and so great having him back on Twitter. And everyone has to be following at Merman5 for some of the best jokes. And wow, so nice. Hey, maybe you're a new listener. Welcome. If so, you can check out all the past episodes and visit www.stevenskinner.com or find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Apocalypse. Remember, don't leave a rating and review. Check out all the new links in my link tree in my bio. It's a lot. Be sure to follow at FOTS Pod on Twitter to find posts about the latest episodes. Be sure to follow me at SkinnerSteven on Twitter. Please like and retweet. Thanks to Ruby Coast for the music. Thanks to Kyle I. Davidson for the theme. Thanks to me for bringing it back. Thanks to you so much for listening. I am Stephen W. Skinner. Have a great one.